Yo, how's it going, guys? Travel Links here, welcome back. So they gave me this here Leech, and I've had a chance to go ahead and level it up, and I'm gonna do a little video montage. I figure what better time than to do a little training module at the same time. So we're gonna go ahead and tear apart this Leech, look at it, take a good look at it, figure out what it's good for, what it's not, and how to fight against it, and then we'll cap it all off with some just kind of my general thoughts about it so far, after playing with it for a week. So for starters, of course, the Leech is a glass cannon. They've been adding a lot of glass cannons to this game lately. The Ares, the Aojun, anything like, well, the Aojun still, it's potent, but anything like that where, its ability is hugely powerful, but once you catch it off guard, they're pretty easy to take down. So this is another one, and this is actually probably the worst one of them all. I mean, it's not until level 9 that you even break 100,000 hit points on this thing. So in terms of durability, it's it's really squishy, but rocking those 4 medium weapons there gives it some serious firepower, and when the ability is active, it's pretty much unstoppable. So, so let's talk about that ability really quick. Of course, it lasts for 10 seconds, which seems like it's a lot of time, but it's not really a lot of time, especially when you take into consideration the having to find cover afterwards. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but just know that it's only 10 seconds long. It takes 18 seconds to cool down for the next hit. Which means you're gonna really want to be hiding around in the cover and stuff like that. But in terms of what it does, so it's offering a 90% damage reduction, all incoming damage, and it's deflecting 35% of that to the target of your choice. That targeting system works whether they go into stealth or anything like this. It'll continue to keep the lock on that target and continue to deal the damage until the Leech ability is joined. So, dropping into stealth or jumping away is not really helping you out too much. It does have a 500 meter range though, so I'm not sure. Maybe you could slide outside of that 500 meters and it would disengage. We'll have to test that further. But, so we've all noticed that there's a new icon on there on the game, so this will indicate who the Leech is targeting with their ability. This is the host icon. I'll call it a host for now, the one who's getting that damage. So this is the host icon. This will tell you who's being targeted. This does not tell you who the Leech is, so be careful of that. The Leech's icon is actually pretty it's pretty low key. All it is an increased durability icon, which you'll also see floating above the heads of phantoms now. You'll see it floating above the heads of Falcon, or anything like this, anything with increased durability. So it's the same symbol, so you got to be careful. Keep your eyes open. Now, piloting a Leech, now you get a chance to pilot a Leech for a little while, it really gives you a feel for how the ability works, and that's why I'm able to break it down a little better now. At first I was kind of unsure. I kind of, was trying to guess and figure it out, but now that I piloted it, so remember, it is squishy inside, so you're definitely not brawling in this thing. You definitely want to stick near to cover, but you can use it different ways. So you can, lock onto your target, you can leech onto the target you're about to attack, and that leaves them defenseless. And as a one-on-one, this is a really powerful way of dealing with things. But if you're up against a group, maybe you want to pick a priority target, something that has the chance to get away in the middle of a battle. Maybe you want to pick that Aojun or that Phantom. to be your host while you're fighting something else. You could also just use the ability to push the opponents around. I mean, a lot of people right now just run away from a leech. We're not really sure, we don't really understand, we just run away from it, go and hide, right? And so, you know, you're running at a beacon, and so you're going for center beacon. Maybe you just activate it so everyone runs and hides while you're doing the capture, right? Or maybe you're being attacked while you're at center, and you know, you leech on, and that just keeps them from attacking you for a few seconds, right? While you go and find cover. So using it as a defensive tool as well, you know, is possible. I found that actually the first thing that I did with my pilot is I put mechanic skill on it, because again, super squishy, so having the mechanic skill in the background, just kind of keeping it repaired along the way, I found to be pretty beneficial. You know, active modules, I mean, sure, a lot of people are running phase shift, gives you a few extra seconds to find cover, but you know, be creative with it. You know, there's things you can do with other modules that might make it even better. So be creative with your modules, and you might find something that works for you. In terms of facing a leech, you really just, like, right off the bat, know your icons, because you know, knowing who's being leeched, who's the leech and who's the host, and being able to read that situation is going to be pretty crucial. You know, as they become more popular and as you have to face them more often, you're going to have to figure out how to deal with them effectively and not just wait. So knowing your icons and figuring out that is pretty key. The next would be the timing. Just know the timing on that leech. Just like everything else in the game, you know, there's an active time and there's a cooldown time, and when you know what that timing is, then you know when to attack. So like the Ares, you know, you kind of know how long the shield is going to last. You kind of got some indicator, and so just as that shield is dropping, your rockets are firing at the same time. The same sort of thing, just know the timing on it. A very strong tactic is just to draw them out, make him stretch his legs, because you know, again, 10 seconds is not a long time when you have to consider finding cover again. So you get him to stretch his legs, you get him running around a little bit, and you might catch him off guard at the end of that. So that's a really strong tactic against this thing. And then of course, you know, something like a blitz where you have the suppression is going to be huge against this too, because, you know, 4 medium weapons coming at you, whatever the setup is going to be highly damaging. So having suppression, because, you know, it is what it is. Now you can, knowing the icons, you can balance that threat too. So let's say that leech is almost done and it's leeched onto a falcon. Well, you know, the falcon can take that little extra damage as you destroy the leech and barely even notice it, especially, you know, healing modules and stuff like that nowadays. So, you know, balance out that threat and see, you know, is it even worth running away from him? Because you never know. So at the end of the day, you know, my own little thoughts on this thing. I think that probably this is going to be one of the best, you know, new additions here in 2020. It's going to be one of the most sought after robots in 2020. I mean, they might throw a whole bunch of stuff out here and really throw me off, but I feel like this is probably one of the most powerful things you can put in your hangar if you know how to pilot properly and you get enough practice in it. So you know, if you're thinking of what to build next in that workshop, go ahead and build yourself a Leech. I think you'll thank yourself in the end. In terms of its ability itself, I think that you know, it's a little crazy. I think maybe 4 weapons on it might be a little much, but I'm not sure. Maybe it would have been better with 3. But 10 seconds I think is a good amount of time on its ability. It gives you a chance to step out and deal some damage, but you know, remembering that you do have to find that cover before your leech is over. 10 seconds gives you a couple of seconds to play with at the end to find cover. So I think I like that, you know. And in terms of its power, like, you know, it's not much longer than Spectre in its stealth jump, but you know, it doesn't get the jump. And so, you know, Spectre, sometimes you can find cover by jumping into cover, whereas the Leech, you have to walk there. So 10 seconds is pretty good. And I had some crazy thoughts about how its ability, maybe how I understood its ability should work, but we'll get to that some other time. For now, I think we're gonna wrap this up. Maybe we'll put on a little bonus footage here, fill it out a little bit, but that's about it. So just get out there and experience it. That's the best way to learn anything, is just through experience, direct experience. So don't be afraid of them. Keep in mind what their ability does and how long it lasts, and you should be all right out there. For now, this is Tribal Links. We're signing off.
Cause I love Everybody put them up now.